Hey Wargamers, Games Workshop released Day 0 updates for all the factions, including Tau. That means that we have an update for Codex Tau Empire and an update for the Greater Good. These are Day 0 FAQs. These are the things that we've been looking forward to make big changes in how armies function prior to the release of 9th edition, and I will say it's actually not very significant in a lot of cases. So there are a lot of clarifications, a lot of unifying the vocabulary to fit 9th edition, a lot of mentions of engagement range and the like. But there are two notable things. One is a really important change, and the other is a useful clarification. So the first thing is that target locks now allow you to move and shoot heavy weapons and rapid fire weapons after advancing at a -1 penalty, and of course you can advance and fire without penalty with assault weapons. So that's a pretty big change. That's important. I mean, it needed to happen because now you can move and shoot heavy weapons without issue most of the time anyway. So the target lock really didn't have a function with that regard. So they pivoted and allowed it to allow you to assault or advance and fire heavy weapons at a -1 penalty, which is really good. That's very useful. You know, prior to this FAQ, I was thinking the target lock was going to fall by the wayside, but I think this actually has quite a bit of utility to it, considering the emphasis on mobility and objective grabbing in 9th edition. Of course, those are common themes generally in 40k, but particularly in 9th edition, I think there's a lot to be said about being able to have your battlesuit move and fire pretty much as normal, but much faster. So for things like Riptides, this is, you know, a valuable choice in some scenarios, but certainly for things like the Yvara, that's really, really good on a Yvara. So whether or not you end up taking Yvara or not, you know, this target lock change I think is useful, and it's something to keep an eye on, something to think about using in your army list. Don't dismiss the target lock. There is a lot of utility in having that extra mobility granted to you by the advance option. And then that useful example is one of the Ghost Keel. Now, we had speculated that perhaps they were going to fundamentally change how the Ghost Keel worked, but that's not true. They have not done that. In fact, they've barely changed anything about how the army actually works in this update. But they do clarify for the Ghost Keel that even though it can get -1 from the suit itself and -1 from its drone, that modifiers are capped at -1, but having these two sources of -1 allow you some redundancy and allow you to negate some +1 benefits. So they give an example of a Ghost Keel being shot at by a Storm Surge. And yeah, if your opponent has +1 and you have -2, that's a net of -1, and so therefore you don't break the -2 modifier or -1 modifier limitation. So overall, a useful clarification if you needed it. Okay, yeah. So I was expecting a lot more in this update. It's really quite bare bones. A lot of that unification of vocabulary, of terminology, and not a lot else. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Is this what you were hoping for, or is it not? How is it going to affect your gameplay? I would love to hear about it. As always, thanks for watching, and happy wargaming. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. This channel is made possible by my supporters over on Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, consider joining our community over there as well. Special thanks to Shifty, Michael Byrne, Jim Bob, Tao Oswell, Stephen Cohen, Jake Johnson, Alex Henna, Ruger, Jacob Harkrider, Mark Schwaring, Zealous Brimstone, Jared Egler, and Chris Kessler.